What's up, everybody? I'm Marcus.
I'm Orion.
And together,
we are the Northwest Sports Fanatics.
We're back at you guys with a new video. And this time, we're going to talk about the Northwest Sports Fanatics top 5 college football games to watch this weekend.
The season's here.
Yes, sir. And it should be fun. And I guarantee you it's going to be exciting. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Our number 5 game to watch this weekend, we're going to start with the number 3 Oklahoma Sooners, and they're going against the number 15 ranked Houston Cougars.
All right, so wipe the crust out of your eyes. It's going to be breakfast time, 9 a.m. on ABC.
Yes, sir. You know, Oklahoma is led by QB Baker Mayfield. They also have 3 really good running backs. But my favorite player on that team on offensive side of the ball is the tight end, Mark Andrews.
So Bob Stoops better get his club ready because in 2 weeks from that point, they play Ohio State at home. So this is going to be must-win against Houston. Houston's pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Right? 13-1 last year. They surprised a lot of people. It's going to be one of those games. It might be an uphill battle for them at first, but at halftime, if they can keep it within maybe 7 or 14, anything is possible.
Yeah, they proved they are totally capable of playing with the big boys. They beat FSU last year in the bowl game, so they're one of the outside of the Power 5 conference teams to definitely be on the lookout for.
Right.
And they're also led by the quarterback. You guys remember this name? His name is Mr. Greg Ward.
All right, and then Samaje Perine, obviously, they're on Oklahoma, is a stud. All right, he only needs 1,057 yards to be Oklahoma's all-time leader.
Passing who?
In rushing, passing who? Past Heisman winner, Billy Sims.
Wow, that's a great stat, and that's definitely a great accomplishment to pass up such a great player. Now, our second game we're going to talk about now. Let's go with the number 18 Georgia Bulldogs versus the number 22 ranked North Carolina Tar Heels.
All right, 2:30 p.m. on ESPN.
ESPN, you know, Georgia, they have a nice history of having some real good running backs. No Sean Moreno, Todd Gurley, and now you have Mr. Nick Chubb.
Right, he's got over 2,000 yards rushing plus in 2 seasons. He got hurt mid-season, kind of crushed their overall hopes and dreams of making anything playoff-wise for him last year. But 14 starts. He's solid for the most part, but let's see how that knee holds up as we go through a full college football season.
We could be looking at Todd Gurley 2.0. For University of North Carolina, you know, they have a new head coach, and Mr. Kirby Smart. You know, it's going to hurt them that 2 of their best players, all AC performers, wide receiver Mark Hollis and also running back Elijah Hood, are suspended for the first half of the season.
They also have a new junior quarterback in Mitch Trubisky, a no-name. We don't know how good he's going to be, but if they end up winning this game against Georgia and upsetting them, it's going to be because of him.
Yes, sir. Now let's go to our third game. We're going to talk about this game is probably going to be the best game all weekend, and that's number 20 USC, and they're going against the first-ranked team in Alabama.
Right, a smash-mouth game between USC from the Pac-12 and Alabama from the SEC. 5 p.m. on ABC.
Yes, sir. You know, number 20 USC, they're led by a player that I call Mr. Baby, Jamal Charles. His name is Ronald Jones. You'll be seeing him pretty soon on Sundays. And you'll also be seeing this cornerback, Mr. Adoree Jackson. He'll be in the NFL shutting things down on that corner as well.
Right, and really the game is going to be about inexperienced quarterbacks, all right? Both teams have them. We don't really know what's going to happen until the first snap goes. First meeting since 1985,
wow,
since the Aloha Bowl. So who would have thought it's been that long? Bama's D is incredible. Number 1 in college football. About 15 a game that they only allow. They got 4 defensive players in the top 21 in the projected 2017 NFL draft.
Wow, that's talented. You know, Nick Saban also knows how to bring them in. One of the guys I personally like is the tight end, Mr. O.J. Howard. He kind of reminds me of Jordan Reed out there.
Right, just like Jake Butt out of Michigan. They're going to be probably the top 2 tight ends, or maybe other few that they sprinkle in. And then watch out for Cam Robinson. He might be one of the best offensive tackles in football for Alabama.
Yes, sir. Now let's moving forward. Our next game we want to talk to you guys about is the number 2 ranked Clemson Tigers, and they're going against the Auburn Tigers.
Right. So this game might be a blowout, but really what we want to watch is Deshaun Watson.
Of course.
Right? Future potential Heisman winner. And we want to see how he progresses from losing in the championship game against Bama last year and seeing if he can overcome that debacle and maybe become on top at the end.
He led Deshaun Watson led a explosive offense that averaged over 500 yards per game. And check this out. He's the first player in NCAA college football history to throw for over 4,000 yards and also rush for 1,000.
Right, 6 p.m. on ESPN. Dabo Sweeney, he knows how to coach. He's going to get the most out of his players. I wouldn't surprise me for them to end up in the Natty. Watch out for Wayne Gallman, obviously at running back, 1,500 yards plus last year. And then wide receiver Mike Williams. It's not the one that you remember from USC, but it just seems like every few years there's a Mike Williams in some college somewhere that's making plays.
Yes, sir. And for Auburn, they're relying heavily on Kieran Johnson, sophomore running back. He averaged 30 yards per kickoff return last year, so he's capable of some playmaking ability in him, but they're going to need a little bit more this year.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go on to the next game. Number 11, Ole Miss, and they're going against the number 4 ranked Florida State Seminoles.
All right, so this one is going to be at 5 p.m. on ESPN on Monday to kind of cap off the Labor Day weekend. Hugh Freeze versus Jimbo Fisher. That's going to be really the matchup. Who is going to outcoach the other to make their position into the top 5?
Of course, Ole Miss is led by their senior quarterback, Mr. Chad Kelly. I'm interested to see how he progresses, to see what he can do. He lost a real big weapon last year in Laquan Treadwell. So we'll see. Mr. Kelly is all on you.
Right, and running back Dalvin Cook from Florida State, arguably one of the best all-around backs who can hit the holes, right, who can catch out of the backfield, roughly 2,700 yards in 2 seasons, and he only needs 1,261 yards.
For what?
To be the all-time leader at Florida State.
Passing who?
Warrick Dunn.
Okay, Mr. Warrick Dunn, one of the all-time greats. Another big matchup to watch is Ole Miss offense, which averaged 40 points per game last year, against that FSU defense, which only gave up 17 points per game last year.
Absolutely.
And the last game we're going to talk about is the University of California, Davis going against the Oregon Ducks.
Right, Oregon's ranked number 24 in the nation, so it's a little bit lower than we've seen in past years. This is the post-Marcus Mariota era. It's going to be on at 2 p.m. on the Pac-12 network.
So there you have it. 5 games for you guys to enjoy, to watch this weekend. We'll be back at you real soon with a new video, updated stats, updated information, news. I'm Marcus, this Orion, and one question. Who talks sports like us?
Northwest Sports Fanatics.